So I'm just going to tell you guys 3 things: who I see, what I see them for, and how you can help me find people. All right, so some of my clients have been in the past. A 3-year-old girl and a 5-year-old boy whose dad suddenly died. A 49-year-old man who was divorced. A 79-year-old man who was divorcing after 50 years. A young woman that was in college who really didn't know if she wanted to go get her master's degree. Did she want to be a librarian? Did she want to be a veterinarian? 12-year-old girls that were self-harming. So you're probably like, Jennifer, I don't see what all of these people have to do in common. It's all anxiety, all right? So that's what I work with. I work with anxiety. I don't do couples counseling. I don't do addictions work. But I work with anxiety, and that can show up in a lot of different ways. And it shows up different ways depending on how old you are. So some of the things that I see, like what I just told you about, it could be like grief. It could be a death loss that you don't understand and you don't see what's going on with that. It could be just general anxiety. One of the things that I see all the time, even though I'm not a big diagnosis person, is general anxiety disorder. That means that I'm worried about everything all the time. I can't sleep at night. My stomach hurts. So there's just things that I'm worried about. One of my clients said it a really good way. She goes, I just feel like I'm not very good at life. She felt like that she did not have the tools for whatever was coming. So that's one of the things that I work with her is you really do have some tools. And if you don't have them, we can learn them. Depression, that's a comorbidity. When you've got anxiety, a lot of times you're also going to have some depression, which that's when you can't stop thinking about what happened in the past. So anxiety, I'm really worried about what's going to happen in the future. Depression, I'm really worried what's in the past. I'm just feeling kind of stuck. Trauma, I see some trauma. People that have had really bad things happen to them in the past. And then we get into the existential. Am I a bad person because bad things happen to me? Why did these things happen to me and they didn't happen to anybody else? Then I see parenting stress. People really concerned about their kids. Am I going to be able to parent this child? I got a kid that's not what I thought that it was. Is it me? Is it the kid? Is this just how kids are? Do I have unrealistic expectations of how a kid is? Something is not working out. So how I work with people. So if you are 3 to 10 years old, I use child-centered play therapy. All right? I can do play therapy with adults too. People are like, is that weird to come into a room for an adult and there's toys? Not really. It brings up a lot of memories. A lot of the things that we deal with started in our childhoods. So you'll see like a truck, I hear all the time, oh man, I had a truck just like that. I'm like, yeah, tell me about it. Also, let me tell you something about therapy. Everybody thinks, people come in and they're like, I was really scared. I'm like, what did you think was going to happen in here? And they go, well, I thought that I was going to be on a couch and that you're going to be asking me a ton of questions. And I was like, oh, so what you saw in the movie? And I was like, yeah, that's not what it is. So for little kids, they come into the room and I say, hey, welcome to the playroom. This is our special time. And here, you get to do and say almost anything that you want. Then I sit down. And then I kind of just like let them do. And what kids learn in there is that they are able to direct action. They know who they are. They are able to do things. They're capable. They're able to regulate their emotions. They know what their emotions are. But we don't do this by talking because that's not the language of a child. When we get to adolescence, that's a little bit different. 10 to 17, that is a whole different age. And every single one of those ages is different. Their bodies are changing, their hormones are changing. We've gone from mom and dad are the most important to peers are really important to us. What is my identity? Who am I going to be? They can talk, sort of, but it's one of those things that we are still learning language. We are still figuring out how to talk about our emotions. I work with parents using child-parent relationship therapy. This is how I support children, it is how I support children, but I'm supporting the parent, saying this is a way to do for you to be a therapeutic agent for your child. I teach them to do what I do in play therapy with their kids, and then kind of check in. And it's something that when parents really want to engage in this, they have to say that they're going to come and speak with me, and they're also going to have a 30-minute playtime with their child every week. Most important meeting on their docket. Nothing is going to change that docket. And a lot of times when I see an anxious kid, I got an anxious parent. It's bi-directional. So adults, I love a young woman with anxiety. I have one. I have a 25-year-old daughter. I've been one. I have been a young woman. I like to see people that have divorced or people that are thinking about divorce. Like I said, I'm not a couples counselor. Sometimes I have people come in and they are thinking about a divorce, and then things change. And I'm like, okay, at this point, I need to refer you to a couples counselor, because they're like, oh, can I bring my spouse in? If you ever are in counseling and they want you to come and bring your spouse in, that's really not going to work, because you already have an alliance with a therapist. So if you're going to couples counseling, you need to go with your spouse to the couples counselor to begin with. But if you are navigating divorce, that is something that I am absolutely able to help you with. A death loss. I volunteer at the Warm Place, and that is for grieving children. And it's something that if you have not lost somebody, you probably are. And that's like something with therapy. It's not, is something bad going to happen in my life? Is something hard going to happen in my life? It's just a question of when is it going to happen. And people treat therapy like plumbing. We all kind of want to try to take care of it ourselves until our house is flooded, or there's like a big problem. And people come in and they're like, hey, how long am I going to need to come to therapy? Well, I don't know. How long has this been going on? How long have you been trying to do your plumbing yourself? So it's kind of one of those things, maybe call a little bit sooner. The trauma, a lot of times with that, the person doesn't really want to come in. Like, they're not the ones that have done it. But finally something has happened and a friend has said to them, hey, you really need to talk to somebody. I want to support you, but I don't know how. They don't have really the ability to listen to it, but I do have the ability to listen to it. Okay, so some really great referrals for me, for kids, pediatricians, because they see this at meetings, or in their checkups. Teachers are going to see kids acting out. School counselor. A school counselor is fantastic, but that is really they are overworked, they are underpaid, and they are seeing the toughest of the tough. It's kind of like, if you've got a kid that's not real severe, they may not be getting seen by the school counselor. The school counselor is a great referral because they know sometimes that therapy would help a kid. Other parents. Yeah, you guys, if you're a parent in here, you see other parents, and you hear about that. That was like kind of one of the things that Bo talked about, the complaining. Like, if you're like going, hey, I hear you that you keep talking about this thing with your kid, maybe you could use some support. Adults, a divorce attorney is somebody great. That's a great referral for me. And probate attorneys are also really good. So one of the ways that if you have a friend that is dealing with something, if they keep talking about the same thing, if they keep telling you that they're worried, if they're really sad, if they're like having relationship conflict, if they're upset about their kids, it sounds like you could use some extra support. It sounds like it might help you to have somebody to talk to. And then just give them my name. So when you give a referral to me, I am kind of weird in here. Don't send me the person's name. Just put HIPAA, which is, the Privacy Act, because I don't want their name to be out there. I'm never going to tell you if I see your person. It's just like something, if you come in and go, oh, did my friend ever call you? I'm not going to talk to you about that. This is the one thing in here. Also, I really like all of you guys. We already have a relationship. I'm not going to be your therapist. So that's something, if it is something where you're like going, hey, I need a therapist, just take me aside and just be like, hey, there's somebody that I'd like to talk to you about this issue. Even though you're not my client, I'm not going to go, oh my God, guess what so-and-so told me at our one-to-one. Yeah, but I'll get you somebody that I trust to speak with about what's going on. You guys saw that I put 2 stickers on your, in your area. If you didn't get a sticker, just get with me. Therapy is cool. Therapy really is cool, but you need a cool connection with your therapist. If you don't like your therapist, if you don't trust your therapist, it is not going to work. All right? I love all my clients. I really do. I want the best for them. And I tell them first session, I'm like, hey, if we're not a fit, it's not going to hurt my feelings because I'm here for you. Just let me know, and I'll refer you to somebody else. That's okay. The other thing that you see there is I love you, sweetheart. I do a lot of self-compassion work with adults. Book a one-to-one with me, and I will tell you why I use those specific words. That's all I got for you guys today.
Awesome.